Another week, boys, and another TWAB. This week at Bungie, we look towards IO. So you're a few weeks into your seasonal journey. You've cleared the EDZ bunker of Fallen, and have been taking the Hive to task on the moon. You've reclaimed the Fourth Horseman, and maybe even completed its catalyst. So what's next? Tuesday, the final Seraph bunker will be open on IO. New Seraph weapons and seasonal mods enter the mix, giving you more options to build your monster killing machine. Later in the month, Guardian Games will kick off some good old-fashioned Guardian rivalry, accompanied by the Grandmaster Nightfall difficulty. This week, we'll be parsing through some feedback we've been seeing since the season launch, and discussing next steps for emblem stat trackers. So yeah, this is actually the roadmap. April 7th is when the Seraph bunker for IO kicks off, with of course like Guardian Games, and I think at some point from now until the end of this month, we should be getting like Phil Winter's Peak, right? Isn't that the leak? I haven't been covering it. Now, focus feedback. Over the last few weeks, we've been watching the conversation about Season of the Worthy, and more specifically, Trials of Osiris. We want to walk through the topics we've been exploring and giving some basic thoughts on what we like to approach in the future. Some items below may be addressed in the coming weeks, but others may take a season or more to tackle. We're having meetings and discussions daily to determine the best course of action. In the meantime, it's important to us that you know your voices are heard. So card rewards. We've been discussing feedback around a lack of incentive for players to go flawless. We understand that some players have found the first few games to be more lucrative, which we love to shift to the later games. Every card token farming, as some would call it, is something that we are very interested in solving. We wanted to make sure that every Destiny player who wants to play Trials has something to show for it at the end of the weekend. Additionally, we've seen feedback that flawless chess isn't comparable to the rewards associated with grinding out Nightfalls. This is something that we love to improve upon. There are quite a few ways we could approach this, and we're currently discussing what would be the best for Trials in the long run. Disconnections. We've been investigating an issue that prevented us from enabling rejoin options when Trials first launched. The short version: a player's score could reset if that player left and rejoined the match. Since we resolved this issue, we are currently planning to enable rejoin in update 2.8.1. Oh boy, that's big, guys. Rejoin? We've only been asking for that forever. We've got it in comp, so it seems like a no-brainer here to have it in Trials. Good to know that there was actually a bug affecting it and not actually Bungie choosing to leave something like rejoin out of Trials. And by rejoin, that means, guys, you get beaver errored or thrown out of the game for some other error. When you get back into the game, you can rejoin. Now, I don't know how that works with DDoSing, because of course, most of the time you get kicked off your internet. By the time you even get your internet booted back up again, the game's normally over. But either way it goes, rejoin feature is an absolute must. Additionally, our teams are continuing to investigate the rise in error code since the launch of the season. This is one of our top priorities. We made some progress in identifying the issue. What's left is developing a fix and testing it. We want to take the appropriate time here to avoid introducing any further issues into the game. Yeah, there has been so many bugs this past season. I don't know if it's more PC related, but as far as errors go, I think everybody is getting that. Fair play. Oh boy. We've seen reports from players that they have encountered cheaters in Trials over the last few weekends. What follows is a quick update on what we've been doing to improve your experience and what we're discussing internally for future improvements. To restate the note in the intro, some of these items may not be addressed for some time as we're in early conversations, but we wanted to give an update of what's going on behind the scenes here at Bungie. Our anti-cheat is not as visible by design as some security products. However, we regularly detect and remove thousands of malicious accounts from the PvP ecosystem. On the front lines, we continue to implement new anti-cheat improvements during patch releases, which don't include these in patch notes for obvious reasons, and we are also investigating new approaches as cheat developers adapt to our latest tech. Many of the cheats you may find in the wild already have detections and countermeasures deployed or in development, with work being done constantly to keep them updated against new threats. Because cheat developers don't stop, we know we have to keep working to improve the system. Note, this is a tricky line to walk, as we don't want to punish any innocent players that may consistently have high stats due to extreme skill, game bugs, or game logic exploits, which Bungie considers our fault. We are working with our platform partners to identify ways in which we can further strengthen our security. We are investigating ways in which we can let you know when your reports have resulted in a permanent ban or temporary restriction. Additionally, we want to give a few tips on information that help us during our investigation when processing reports from report suspected cheating contact form. Important note, do not post any of this information publicly, not on Reddit, not on Bungie forums. This information should only go in a specific form. Here's the information we are looking for. Display name of the known good player. Is this you, a friend of yours? Display name of suspects, any other identifying info you have, clan name, Steam ID, etc. Explain what suspicious behavior was observed. Note the platform the behavior was observed on. Provide a link to the post-game Carnage report on Bungie.net. And if possible, give us links to any video evidence. This could be a YouTube video or archived Twitch stream with timestamps, a clip, or a video you have recorded and shared via public share service. Sorry we cannot connect you to a private Google Drive or OneDrive to view a video. I know that some of you out there may find a statement of "we're listening" to be repetitive cliche of community management, but the first step towards taking action is to listen. We've been collecting your feedback and looking to fully understand the root of this perceived issue that are being discussed by players in the wild. Your voice is important to us and help us as we walk the path to what's next in Destiny 2. We'll be sure to keep you updated on our plans as they become more concrete, and we thank you for your continued feedback on the game. Speaking of the future, let's talk about stat trackers. All right, first up, Jesus. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Whatever anti-cheat system Bungie has in place is not working. I actually ran into a guy the other day. He was playing in Control. He was using aimbot. And if you weren't paying attention, you probably would have missed it. I go on to look and I see that his account already has 1 game ban on Steam, as in he's used aimbot before. I took a screenshot, did everything I was supposed to do, did the report feature. He was banned within 3-4 hours. He was ranked number 173 inside of Trials. And nearly 100 hours inside of Destiny. On paper, he looked like one of the best players in the game. And the only reason why he was not ranked higher than that was after checking his game history, he had backed out of a number of games to drop his win record down, so that any type of anti-cheat wouldn't pick him up and suspect him with a 100% success rate inside of Trials. And that's the only reason why he lost. Now, what was so sad about this guy, and I'm not going to give his profile name away, but let's just say, for instance, he had a profile named John. Well, he had like 4 or 5 other Steam accounts that already had characters leveled up inside of Destiny that were like John 1, John 2, John 3, John 4. And the reason why he had this is because obviously when one account gets banned, he jumps on that second account. And if the second account gets banned, he jumps on the third account. And he continues doing this until he finally gets to his 5th or 6th account. And by the time that final account gets banned, his first one will be unbanned. So then he just goes back to his original account. And again, guys, understand this. Aimbot doesn't require you to have the best weapons. You don't need a revoker. You don't need a not forgotten, a spare rations, a god roll, anything. You have aimbot, man. You're good with everything. The man can go flawless with nunchucks. So the point I'm trying to get to is that obviously whatever system that's in place is not going to work, because these guys that are getting banned, they're not losing anything. They just jump onto another account and they continue this process. And it's shameful that I'm already running into cheaters, not just in Trials, but just in regular 6v6. So how do we stop this? Well, you really can't. But there is one way to fatigue these guys over and over again, and that's to require the annual expansion to be purchased in order to play Crucible, or in the least, in order to play Trials. There has got to be a paywall of some sort, and we brought this up in the past. That's like the one thing Bungie will not bring up right now. I can promise you, Bungie, these free-to-play players are not your backbone, and they are ruining Crucible, especially here on Steam. So much so that people are just not playing anymore. And what's so bad is now everybody's like suspecting each other. You land a good snipe after the game, you're like, oh, are you aimbotting? That's terrible. But it's become so common that you have to guess. A lot of these aimbots have wall hacks. They can see you behind walls and corners. And a lot of them don't even use the aimbot itself. They just use the wall hacks just to see where you and your teammates are. And if something like Trials, that's extremely beneficial. There's currently a hack pack in the wild. I think it's a zip file with over 300,000 downloads for Destiny 2. 300,000 people have already downloaded aimbot and an assortment of hacks to be utilized inside of Destiny. So in the long run, absolutely, an anti-cheat system is a must. But as you can see from today's TWAB, an anti-cheat system is obviously not working. If you're having to sit there and submit video footage and other proof to showcase that the person is cheating, there's obviously not a system at play to detect any type of third-party program that's allowing these people to cheat. Maybe the free programs. And understand, most of the things that are picked up are like your janky cheats, your free cheats, But when you start doing premium, those are the ones, man. They're difficult to detect. And I'm telling you guys, the only way we're going to be able to put a stop to this, short and long term, is to set up a paywall of some sort to keep these guys out of Crucible. And if you're like, oh, I'm a free-to-play player, what the hell, man? I want to be able to play Crucible too. Bro, just buy the damn game. The hell's wrong with you? We used to play MMORPGs back in the day, man, and paid a hell of a lot of money on a monthly basis. And I was a kid. So if you got a little paywall to go through, so be it. And if anything, that cheater out there is going to have to really scratch his head and go, do I want to spend another $10 or $15 or $30 or however much of a paywall we want to put in place in order to allow these people to play inside of Crucible? But there's got to be a paywall, guys. The more I think about it, that's the only way to stop this. An anti-cheat system is not working. It's not. If you're saying that we are in discussions on how to find a better process to ban people, we have already lost the war. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Moving on. Stat trackers. Yeah, baby. I don't know what you wanted this season, but stat trackers is what I wanted. I woke up this morning and thought to myself, I just want to track my fractalines. How much fractaline did I donate? So for my folks out there that donated a hell of a lot of fractaline, don't worry. You will be able to stat track that bitch in 2.8.1, which I think begins next week. It's also an assortment of other stats to be tracked. Hell to the yeah, baby. Hell yeah, chat. The hell with anti-cheat. Don't need none of that mess. No adept weapons. I just need emblems that track me, bro. Moving on, there's a number of current known issues that I don't even care about. Actually, I do care about one. Hold on. Rasputin Daily Seraph weapon can only be claimed on the character players were on when rank 92 the season pass was unlocked. This cannot be claimed on other characters. I'm glad I know that. I actually was not able to claim my weapon the other day, despite me being rank 92. Game is bugged. Jesus, we have so many bugs, man. We have so many bugs. We have a crappy anti-cheat system. Look, who's quality control on Bungie's end? I need the biggest, baddest hacker in the world to go work for Bungie and set up a good anti-cheat system. I'm done, fellas. I'm done, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Need a paywall. That's all I'm gonna say. Paywall. If there's a hashtag to be shared out today, hashtag paywall. The anti-cheat system right now is not working. It's not working. When there are people in this game with nearly 100 hours of cheating, it's not working. They drive their stats down. They do it purposely. They take losses intentionally. You can't just look at the stats and go, hey, this guy might just be a good player. No. Every one of these guys that I have suspected of cheating has had a previous ban history of cheating, whether it was a fact ban or just a basic game ban. But even that, Crucible should be locked to people that have not paid for the game. I'm done, fellas. I'm so done, man. I can't tell you how done I am. I'm like one rant video away from going dark for the rest of 2020. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.